Good evening, fans of the Vegas Golden Knights. I say that because I would be very surprised if there are very many San Jose Sharks fans that are going to want to watch the review of Game 4. This devolved quickly. Um, I've talked about the series between Boston and Tampa, or Boston and Toronto, I should say, and the fact that Game 2 was rough. This entire series has been rough, and the hate that's going on in this series just seems to keep ramping up, and I'm hoping we don't see an injury come out of it, and I mean that for both teams. I think both teams are equally likely to cross that line. It feels like they're getting closer, and I'm really hoping I'm reading this series wrong, that there's potentially more ugliness. And I know we've seen, Thornton wasn't in this game tonight because of the no-shit hit, but it feels like the no-sick hit might be small compared to whatever's coming. These benches chirp at each other a lot. I know the fan bases don't get along, and it's a toxic series, and it there are a lot of similarities between this one and the Boston Toronto series, but the difference to me is this is relentless. The hate between these teams is relentless. The hate between Boston and Toronto is there, but between the players on the ice, there's still some semblance of respect you can see in some of the plays and some of the ways things are being done. I don't see that here right now. This just gets worse, and it starts out bad. Pacioretty scores from Stone 111 into the game, so you're San Jose, and you need this game. You desperately need this game, and you need that save early, and you don't get it. Martin Jones does not provide that for you, and as pretty as the shot may have been from Pacioretty, and as much as you can say, well, that's on the defense in front of him, at the end of the day, he needs to make some saves, and they're not happening. Before the end of the period, so they had a really good period. This is the sad part. San Jose played really well, but 47 seconds left, Theodore scores from Pacioretty and Smith. Smith's assist was added after the fact, but with 47 seconds left in the period, and you'll often hear hockey players, analysts, coaches say, the goals in the first minute and the last minute of the period will kill you. You've got to make sure that doesn't happen. And even the announcers said, well, I was watching going, well, at least they got through the first minute, and then bam, Pacioretty. And then last minute, it's Shea Theodore. So it's 2-0 Vegas after one. And this is really where San Jose has to feel really upset, frustrated, and there has to be some feeling of I don't know how we can do this. So second period, Coach DeBoer makes a move in net. He puts Aaron Dell in there. Now, I've said Aaron Dell, you're not going to get those really big saves from Dell either, which has kind of been the story this year as well. 140 into that second period, the Knights hit a post. They beat him clean, but they hit a crossbar, and I thought, wow, they very nearly scored again within the first 2 minutes of a period. And then they get a power play, and on that power play, Pacioretty gets a goal from Stone and Theodore. And as soon as Pacioretty scores that, I thought, there were a lot of Montreal fans that took that victory lap in the Tatar trade. Pacioretty's not a heart and soul guy. He won't show up when you need him. He's showing up now for Vegas. And between the Islanders and the Columbus Blue Jackets and now Vegas, there are so many wonderful redemption stories that I think I could do a top 10 redemption stories of hockey players when these playoffs are done, because I think there's been a lot of them. So Pacioretty gets a power play goal, and that's the only goal of the second period, 3-0. San Jose 0 for 1 on the power play. Vegas 1 for 1 on their power play. Shots are 8-7 in favor of San Jose. It's a rough night. Third period, it doesn't get better. Tuck scores a goal from Schmidt and Pacioretty to make it 4-0. And the devolving of the game continues from there. There's a penalty called. San Jose doesn't like it. Timo Meyer's apparently chirping from the bench at the referee. And it seemed like what upset San Jose to start off is that Ryan Reeves was playing on the number one power play. So the idea being, okay, now you got Reeves on the power play. What's going on? And so they pull Meyer off the bench. They're like, yeah, you're getting it unsportsmanlike to make it a 5-on-3 for about a minute and a half. Now, I'm not one to say, you should just let it go. But that was pretty brutal. In a game where everybody's chirping, I don't know what Meyer said. I know we probably won't find out. But I guess he should have said it in Swiss. Yeah, this was rough. Marchessault then scores from Schmidt and Smith, and yeah, it just continues. It continues, and then I just wrote on the board: fights, nasty plays, angry stuff, and Gar with a couple of with an exclamation point after, and I refer to it as the Golden Knights experience. If you're a WWE fan, you'll get the reference. The word experience can apparently get tacked onto something to try to make it sound cool. It doesn't. It really doesn't. This game was brutal towards the end, and they threw a few guys out of the game. And really, all honesty, I don't know how brutal Game 5 is going to be in San Jose. San Jose is now backed against the wall. They lose this one 5-0. It felt like a 5-0 game. At points, and in the third period, Vegas outshoots San Jose 13-2. San Jose's 0-0, so they don't get a power play, and Vegas 1-6. So, for Vegas, this was, they had control of the puck, and they had control of the play, and they had the man advantage for a large portion of the period. And I know that's where San Jose fans are going to be upset. That you see these scrums, and out of those scrums, Vegas comes out of it with a power play. And the optics, yeah, for this game, not great. I get that. Vegas ends up going 2 for 9 on the power play, and San Jose goes 0 for 4. So that's not why they lose, but it's salt in the wound. Jones goes 5 for 7 before he gets replaced at the start of the second. Dell goes 17 for 20 over 40 minutes. We'll see if he gets to start in Game 5, because how many times does Jones have to get pulled against Vegas? Fleury makes all 28 saves, lost in all of this. Fleury now has 15 career shutouts in the playoffs. He is tied for 4th all-time with Chris Put Me in the Hall of Fame Osgood, and I agree, Chris Osgood belongs in the Hall of Fame. Absolutely 100%. But so does Fleury. Fleury belongs in the Hall of Fame. And Vegas is 1 win away from taking out San Jose. If San Jose ends up winning games 5, 6, and 7, it'll be one of the greatest comebacks in history, because really, in all honesty, Vegas has full control over this series. And even if they win Game 5 in San Jose, I don't like their odds in a Game 6 in Vegas. It's a rough series, and there's some guys getting pretty beat up out there. I'm sure that after the series ends, we'll hear about a number of injuries that have taken place, and it's rough. Interestingly, too, Doug McLean, I believe it was Doug McLean that was talking about Erik Karlsson's horrible plus-minus in this series and just his defensive numbers against Vegas. He thinks Karlsson is injured. Personally, for me, I think there's nagging injuries that have been going on with Karlsson throughout this season that I think date back into last season. And I don't know that we're ever going to see that 100% Erik Karlsson from his Ottawa days 2 years ago. I think that playoff run in 2017 took a lot out of Erik Karlsson, and I'm not sure that he'll ever get back up to being who he was then, because it hasn't shown up so far. That being said, you can't put this all on Karlsson. You can't put it all on Jones, because when Dell's in net, it doesn't get a whole lot better. This has been a meltdown, and this has been an absolute, complete, and total ownage of the San Jose Sharks by that second line for Vegas. Now, here's the thing. Here's the other curiosity I have about this. The first line is Marchessault, Karlsson, and Smith. Right. But this second line, I'm going to use bunny ears and air quotes, this second line sure starts a lot of periods, which makes it sound a lot like a first line. So I'm going to go ahead and say that the Stone, Pacioretty, Stastny lines become the first line, and or maybe Vegas has 2 first lines. Either way, it's been absolutely deadly. And for San Jose, they have got to find answers in the next 48 hours, because this is going to go back to San Jose. and it could get uglier. All right, there you go. We're through 4 in this series. It feels like, to me, it feels like it's going to be 5. I don't know that it's going to 6. I think I predicted Vegas in 6. I may end up being wrong, too conservative on that. But hey, we'll see if San Jose can buckle down, can dig down and find something with Thornton's return for Game 5. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you guys are just browsing your way through. You happen upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.